but the impact I can have on people's lives. So very quickly, Bethel New Life is a nonprofit, just negative about something about late 60s and early 70s. Things started to happen and everything else, a lot of other stuff started to live in 1979. And so for the last 37 years or so has been focused a lot in that arena. But for the decades from 79 to about 2009, a lot of that would be considered, a lot of the efforts that Bethel put into that, you might consider to be traditional CDC, Community Development Corporation stuff. Meaning affordable housing, especially affordable housing for senior citizens, some anti-recidivism stuff for people who may have spent time behind prison walls, helping them find jobs, senior programs, other housing programs. Actually, Bethel actually built housing, single-family housing, multi-unit housing, that type of thing, over the years. So in 2012, they came to me and said, you know what, we think we want to do something different, and you might be the person to help us get there. And what Bethel wanted to do different was, Bethel took a look around the West Side. Not really. The West Side hasn't really been trained. So the question was, well then, what can be done? Workforce development, business development. Actually, so I was convinced to join Bethel. I had some title, VP of something. Doesn't matter what my title was, that was my role, economic development. Things that we've done, things that we did, some things that I tried to make happen early in the game was establish a small business development center. I call it the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, and said, you know, we need a small business development center on the West Side. We don't have one. What do you do? 6 cohorts. We had about, each cohort had about 30 people start, roughly 25 finish. So there was a little bit of attrition, but not much. Meaning that we've had about 150 people go through the program successfully, and roughly 50 of them have either started new businesses or grown existing businesses. So we feel very good about this kind of activity. We have a number of other business development programs, including our West Side Business Accelerator, something else I'll mention in a minute. Dick Durbin dropped by Bethel actually in January of this year to talk about what we do in this arena in terms of business development. I think one reason for it is the SBDC, in theory, does get some money from the federal government, even though the state of Illinois is holding up a lot of it, frankly. But he's always interested in how the federal money is being spent. So, you know, I think we had a good discussion when he showed up. On the workforce development side, we've had a number of programs in terms of helping people get enhanced skills. One of our key programs in this arena is what we call our Advanced Manufacturing Training Program, Computerized Numerical Control, Computer-Aided Manufacturing. Some of you are familiar with the CNC technologies and so forth. We have we have a partnership with an organization called TMA, Technology and Manufacturing Association. This gentleman here, Jack Krikorian, is one of the most renowned trainers of advanced manufacturing stuff in the United States. People go through his hard skill stuff, our soft skill stuff. They end up being highly attractive to employers that are looking for people who know how to do CNC related manufacturing. People with ninth grade educations, level primarily. Some of them don't even have to have, and some of them don't have, engaged in substance to make sure that they don't hurt themselves on this equipment that they're using, right? But that's a key program. Yes.
What's his name again?
Jack Krikorian.
Jack. Okay.
I think I'm saying it right. It's I might not be saying it right. It might be I think it is K-A-R-K-O-R-I-A-N. Krikorian. All right.
So anybody who wanted to get in the program, how do they?
Okay, so we advertise when our next cohort is coming up. We've got one that we're going to start probably late April. There's some introduction stuff that they go through, combination of what Jack gives them and our soft skills stuff. And send them in our direction. All right. Who am I putting to sleep yet? Anybody? No? So you take a look at all that, and then you ask yourself, okay, why are we doing this? And I sit down with my CEO, and this is the discussion I have with her on a weekly basis. We have this mission. We call our mission West Side Forward. And West Side Forward, the shorthand for West Side Forward is 63,000 jobs. What does that mean? What that means is what we want to do over some reasonable period of time is to provide real opportunities for real West Side people to be able to engage in employment that is not currently available to them. And we want that to be 63,000. This 63,000. This is not wage employment. This is living wage. And the West Side, it sticks. I've got, I'm sorry, I can't believe anything like this. Something that the collective population experience a certain West Side exposure to that opportunity. In the spring, starting with Blue 1647. This hub. It's an opportunity for local residents to come in and experience what we currently do and what we will be doing. What we currently do in terms of business development and workforce development is the stuff I've talked about already. We're actually what we do twice a week today is put people on a bus and take them out to Schaumburg for our advanced manufacturing stuff. Schaumburg is where TMA's headquarters is and where that CNC equipment is today. Within a few weeks, we're going to have the CNC equipment in the space. The CNC mill, CNC lathe, 3D printers, additive manufacturing, subtractive manufacturing, other IT capabilities, such as a lot of what I'm hopeful will be a lot of software development, training and application development kinds of things. Much of which will be geared toward people who may have finished high school, and maybe some of them may not have finished high school. But it's to expose them to something that they may not have ever been exposed to. We will see what the outcome of this is, but we feel pretty good about it. And bear with me for a second.
It's NBC partnership with schools and community organizations. The program provides hands-on cooking and nutrition education. Let's give them a round of applause. Congratulations.
That helps women, minorities, and veterans is that create jobs. Congratulations.
Bethel New
much for and our contest, and thank you so much for all of the wonderful work that you do in the community. We really appreciate you and all of your guests who are here. Download, go to our website, NBC Chicago.
Okay, that was it. Get this out of here before the next video starts. So I guess the bottom line there, that's too much. Private.
Okay.
I'm going to stop there. That I mentioned earlier, the supported living housing for senior citizens, which gets on by court. and the Small Business Development Center, a portion of that, of the SBDC funding comes through the state of Illinois. A half of that is actually federal, the other half is state. The Bethel, the model that we've kind of gone to has taken us to the point of, we got a lot of donors. A lot of it is foundation support. Did I go too far? Let's see if I can do this again. A lot of it is foundation support. There we go. A lot of it is individual donor support. Some of it is corporate donations. Again, it's not a perfect world. We can always benefit from more. And part of my motivation for meeting with you folks here is to expose you to what we're doing and to tell you what we want to do. And maybe you might even be in a position to help us with some of this. We've got a number of initiatives that we keep coming up with. One of them is what we call a Workforce Federation. What the Workforce Federation is you got a lot of jobs out there in a lot of different industries. Right? Bethel can't necessarily do all those things, but some other organizations can. Healthcare is an example. We got a partner that we started this Workforce Federation initiative back in January, where we got a bunch of different organizations together in one room and started to talk about how we can work synergistically to engage in workforce development. Should someone come to us and say, I'm interested in a career in transportation and logistics. Bethel is not spending a lot of effort at this point in time in training people for some of the high-paid careers in transportation and logistics. But one of our partners might be, right? Or healthcare, certain key aspects of healthcare, I don't know, radiologists or something like that. Construction, whatever. So we have a number of partners that we're beginning to work with where we can establish synergies with each other because there's a lot of soft skills and there's a lot of good things. Collaborations that we're engaged in with the hub. But they're not an opinion in terms of work, but they can be, is a main that could provide opportunities for people. Not only on the business development side, but maybe even people who might have the skills or be able to team up with someone with the skills to think about an enterprise, a business geared toward solving people's cybersecurity problems. Cybersecurity problems are many. They are different from industry to industry, from community to community, from country to country. That's something to think about. It's just plant the seed a little bit. Even some of you might have some business development aspirations in terms of, you might have a concept. You may have thought about taking that concept to 1871. 1871 takes time and effort, highly competitive, costs money. And maybe there are some things that we can do within Bethel. And we got the partners that help make this happen. Some things that we can do in terms of business incubation in the IT world. Could be some added something to think about. Your guidance from the workforce development to do much more of it until they get the job offer, and the start would be helpful. Continue to, first of all, we can't be fatalistic about this because if they don't understand the benefits of it, we might as well give up. But number two, we need to work hard to influence them that there are benefits in them thinking a different way than they've thought in the past. And by the way, other people who formed teams and benefited from the diversity of thought associated with those teams, a lot of those businesses turned out to be quite successful. So one of the things I want to do as we go forward throughout all of our business development programs is to focus a lot of attention on people teaming up with each other to establish thriving business. So just a thought. So, want to be involved. Making an impact, this whole thing was supposed to be about making an impact, a positive impact. I think that if anyone else has a better life as a result of your involvement, you had a productive day. And so I'm thinking that making a positive impact, having a positive impact, does involve making life better. That's the first question I ask. How do you have an impact? Making life better for someone. I feel real good about the fact that I think I made 4+ years ago a very good decision to do this type of thing with Bethel versus all the other stuff I did leading up to that. I feel real good about the impact I'm having on someone's life, and I feel a degree of fulfillment associated with that. So just a thought. He who will not when he may, when he would, he shall have nay. That means is that you can't sit back and watch. You can't have an opportunity pass you by too many times, because sooner or later it won't come by again. So think about that. Okay, I feel like I've been talking for an hour. I'm not. Any questions? Any questions? Yes, sir.
So we're in the industry for over 30 years. And you talk about how you got involved in nonprofits.
Mm-hmm.
What was, I guess, in your experience, the biggest push to change careers, and also how did that previous experience working in the engineering industry help you be successful in nonprofit sector?
So I actually got into the nonprofit business 2 feet in. I dove in not long after my entrepreneurial experience, which my entrepreneurial experience was about 6 years of trying to do some things, primarily in the wireless telecommunications, retail, and B2B space. And got into that and then got out of it. The reason I got out, and I needed to get out of it because it was real difficult competing with my suppliers. Suppliers being AT&T, Verizon, and so forth. The internet was becoming powerful, and these various companies were utilizing the internet and wouldn't let me do that. So I decided, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. Got out of that, and then thought about a few things, and then and I didn't go into a lot of detail here. As it so happens, I have a relative who spun off a small, very, very small nonprofit from his church that he said, well, while you're available, why don't you take on the COO role for this small nonprofit on the South Side? And I thought about it, and I said, yeah, sure. You know, I just shut my business. I'm shutting my business down. Let me think about it. And as it turns out, I saw plenty of opportunity arising from that thing. And then I talked about hope. And then I said, you know what? This can be a combination of things. If I can survive off of this, the positive benefit to me, beyond just survival, positive benefit to me in terms of feeling good about myself is a good thing. So that was kind of the turning point. It's probably around prior to BS